Okay, so welcome everyone to our meeting. I'll call it to order at 6:30. First thing on our minutes, first thing on our agenda is the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the Old Saybrook Park and Rec Commission meeting minutes of August 13th, 2025. As reported.
We have a motion on the floor from Jim. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Is there any discussion? Okay, no discussion. All in favor of accepting the minutes, say aye. Aye. Any nays? Any abstention? Okay. I'd like to recognize any guests that are in our building. If you would like to introduce yourselves, you may. You're not required to introduce yourself, but thank you for coming.
Thank you. I'm Sarah Gennaro, resident of
Okay.
Caitlin Oliver, also resident. Naomi Charlie, also resident.
Okay. And then we have our liaison, our very important liaison. Thank you for coming to our meetings. I do appreciate you being here.
There's no one else.
Thank you. Because I had my reading glasses on, I couldn't see that far. Okay. All right. Any correspondence?
You know what? Yeah, we're gonna do this in first person. Back page of your packet, there's two letters. Last month, we had a letter from Paul Terestio from the Great Hammond Pizza Association, which is the very last letter. That was from last month. He sent another letter. That's the top letter. He sent it to me on Monday. You can read through it really quickly. It's just some of the similar complaints that he had last time. He also sent a couple pictures and did send a video to me of the music that he was suggesting that is loud.
Mhm.
And last time I thought it was in the truck. Well, this particular video had this little speaker on the railing of the decking, which
Okay.
I completely understand why he would say it was loud, because it's literally pointing right towards his backyard. And I get more of what he's saying now with that video that he showed. And then certainly the stuff in the back. I mean, it's just simply a table and some stuff that they have there that should be cleaned up, that should not be there. And we can address that in the future. The pictures are not an issue. Those are simply addressable. Same with the music, very addressable, but I don't think you're gonna get rid of any of the smell of the food cooking and all that other stuff. But certainly passing this along to you for more consideration of what you'd like, and certainly read through it. And you know, in the future, I think we'll have to make a decision as we move forward.
Yeah. You make it by the second letter.
He appreciates a prompt attention to that.
Right.
Because of this.
Quoting-
we'll have to
quoting the
take
last
Further
paragraph.
action to address these.
Go ahead. Great.
When does the food truck wrap up for the season? Like,
She's allowed to be there, well, the food truck in general is allowed to be there, the food vendor, but allowed to be there until September 15th. So this.
okay, so we got 5 days, okay.
Right, did, well, go ahead.
Okay, and is that open, like, so the 5th, so there'll be a weekend,
Yeah,
okay, that, and she'll probably be serving food there.
I assume so. I don't ask, but
Okay.
we're not particularly open, so
Okay,
we don't have
right.
any staff there. Totally up to her. We've
Okay.
done that in the past simply because we know there's some nicer weekends.
Yeah,
Past Labor Day, and there's always something that the commission agreed upon, so that's what.
yeah, parking's free.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Jim, you had something.
Yeah, Ray, in your investigation, did you determine that the speaker that was playing the music was, used by the truck or their employees, or was it
Yes.
just regular beachgoers?
It was by employees, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
This first picture is from his point of view,
Yes.
so he's complaining about the red umbrella.
No, he's just saying this is where he thinks they party. Like, according to the letter, it says there's, you know, after hour parties and things like that. So that table's always been there.
Right.
That is just an area for the employees to get out of the heat that they're in, you know, give them a little break and things like that. Well, I think our last vendor kind of abused that a little bit more than they should have, and this particular vendor says they don't use it, so I'm not sure when this occurs. Maybe it's just other people after hours or whatever, but all our parking attendants say they don't ever observe it back there during the day. So
It must be.
It could be after hours for
Mm.
sure,
Yeah,
And-
there's people just sitting there.
you know, it could be them after hours, you know, I mean.
And I mean, in the summer, it doesn't get dark until 9 o'clock, so it's conceivable that, there would be things going
There
on.
are still members of the public, they can go after hours there,
Mm.
after their vending services needs, they can still go back there.
The people who work there are employees of the, what was it called, the sandbar?
Sandbar, yeah, Sandbar, yeah.
Well, I, certainly, appreciate Mr. Terraccio, giving a little more detail in what, his first letter had. And I think, we can review this in an appropriate time to see if there's anything we can do. I'm still not sure, whether we can actually move where the vendor, can be because of DEP, regulations in the parking.
How long has a food truck been there or something serving food in that exact?
Our concession, over,
2017, 16, somewhere in there.
yeah,
We actually, the first one we had was a guy, basically a moped selling hot dogs. And then.
We're going on 10 years there.
Probably,
There was a shed in the middle there too, back when I used to work there.
Oh, years ago.
Decades.
Sorry, Rob, decades.
we're trying to be nice, but evidently we're going to be honest tonight.
10 years in the same spot.
Yeah,
All right, so there isn't anything we can do with this, but I certainly appreciate the second letter because it brings to light, really for.
I can send the video to that one too, I just couldn't get out of this.
All right, so that's what we'll do.
It's very specific, but I think it's, something to keep in consideration.
Was there any other, correspondence?
Well, yeah, I guess we can have another question. We had a letter that a parent I talked to, it's attached also in the back there, regarding some of our programming for the fifth graders and the lack of programming, well, not really, I mean, we do certainly do it. We have a lot of fifth grade programs after school, but not for the actual teen center. So fifth graders will actually go to the teen center on Friday afternoons. They're allowed here from 2:30 to 4. And during the week is 6th to 8th graders, from 2:30 to 5. In this particular resident, just wondering if we could add fifth graders, and the concern is they don't have a lot of offerings after school, in particular in the middle school. And, there's lack of programming for their fifth graders, lack of care for them after school. Certainly a valid point. And I told her in our conversation, I'd certainly look into it. This is more day-to-day operational decision, not a commission decision. So this is something you can certainly be aware of, but a couple of my concerns will just lay it out. A couple of my concerns is mixing the fifth graders with the 6th to 8th graders, can be an issue. The number of kids that attend on a Friday, usually a lot larger group, and that would certainly put a lot more kids into our Monday through Thursday program, and that's lack of staff on my end is a concern as well. But I wanted to give this a couple weeks into the school year, just to get some numbers from our Friday night fifth graders, Friday afternoon fifth graders, and our 6th to 8th grade crowd, see if we can mix it and see if we can make it work. I have no problem trying to find a solution to adding fifth graders to the program. It's just some logistics on our end that we have to figure out and see if we can do it, but I just didn't want to jump into it. And say, yes, right off the bat, we gotta look at some more numbers and see if it works. So I think it's a valid point, and it's something as a department, part of our mission statement is to provide programming for everyone. So I don't think this is really a gigantic deal per se, but I just want to make sure that we're safe and that we're just not over.
Have you ever tried to integrate fifth graders?
No, we've always separated the fifth graders, and the school has changed, by the way, through the years.
Yeah.
So.
Grade wasn't there.
Right, exactly. So, I think we need to adapt as well,
Now it's only fifth grade,
Yeah.
or it used to be fourth grade, so
Yeah,
now,
Yeah, so I think there's certainly some room. I mean, fifth grader and eighth grader, a big difference. It really is. Do I have all the numbers of all the eighth graders showing up Monday through Thursday? No, but we just started.
and they don't have to sign up, right, they can just show up,
No, that's not,
they do.
Yeah.
So you would know ahead of time.
Yeah.
How many fifth graders tend to be there, how many eighth graders.
yeah, it's a, not every day though. So it's,
Right.
you sign up for a membership and then you're allowed to be here any of those days. You don't have to come every day.
Right. So you don't necessarily know so for tomorrow, you don't know yet if people signed up to show up.
Well, people signed up, but they don't sign up ahead of time to come.
Right, it's not like I'm coming
It's a drop-in, and once you
Thursday.
get your membership, it's a total
to show
drop-in,
up.
right, so I have no idea. We could have 4 people tomorrow, we could have
Cause it might
55.
be easier to plan if you have staff, if you know,
Sure.
like on Thursdays, you're gonna have 25 fifth graders.
Right, and generally, you know, this year we're pretty lucky with our staff, I generally have 2 to 3 every day, which is great, but, you know,
Is there a rule on how many you have to have per student?
well, I
Or
like
1 to
keep-
8 or
I
1 to
like
10?
to keep it 1 to 10, 1 to 12 somewhere, it's a little bit hectic after that, so. But, certainly, I had a long conversation with our phone. I don't think this is a terrible idea, I think it's valid points here, and then, like I said, that's a department, part of what we do, so I don't. You just gotta give it a couple weeks to see what the numbers are like, then we can integrate it, maybe it's an October 1st thing, maybe it's the last week of September thing, try to integrate it, but I think it'll work, just getting that. But again, most of this is day-to-day operational stuff, not.
But it's interesting, probably just not realizing the change
Well,
that's occurring in the area and the school that's right up the street for them. They just have.
and I'll
to-
say, not even being complacent on our part, but teen center in our minds always been a 6th or 8th grade thing, right? And we've allowed the 5th graders on Friday, and it's always seemed to work, we've never really had any parents come to us and say that they actually needed any more care, so. Because we've always had our 5th grade program anyway, that like we did, we'll do a wiffle ball or a kickball or whatever, that have the 5th graders from 2:45 to 3:45 to 4 o'clock. And that's their class, they walk over, it's nice, and then we still have our teen center, but they've never needed that extra care after, so. But, you know,
Thank this person.
we
for
also need to
bringing it up.
expand this department, so this might be one way to do it, so.
Yeah, yeah. And I like the fact that.
I do.
Oh, are you the parent?
Oh, why, hello there.
Hi. I appreciate, you bringing this letter into the meeting and, you know, having the discussion. So I just have a couple of things that I don't know if this is the right time to.
I'll recognize you,
bring
go
in.
right
Thank
ahead.
you so much.
And for Jerry, can you give your name again?
Yes, it's Sarah Gennaro.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So I did some research on the area, and East Lyme does also include their 5th grade and their after school Parks and Rec. With their 5th through 8th grade, Westbrook does as well. And then several of the other towns around here do not have 5th grade as part of the middle school, so they're already, you know, part of the elementary school getting aftercare opportunities, and usually they go until 6 o'clock for the working hours. Yeah, that's it. I really appreciate the consideration for 5th graders to be included, to have more.
Well, thank you for bringing this to raise attention. This is what our commission and our department is all about, is what is needed by the community and how we can fulfill that. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Any other comments? Communication.
We had another member show on the.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can,
Question, my name's Erin. I'm just her friend and I have lived the experience that she's living now with trying to figure out what to do with 5th grader. Is there a member of the middle school on this board? Like the middle school faculty or staff? Because I brought this up several years ago to the front office at the middle school, asking if they had any information on programming. And they were not super helpful, but myself and other people, I had called the busing, I had called the like for late buses. And like all that kind of stuff. I did the whole game. I think you all were the only people I didn't come to see. Because you had published online what your programs were. But yeah, I wondered if there was a representative from the school
Well,
on this board.
we are elected commissioners, so we
Okay.
go through the normal election process. But there is, if there is a need or an interest, we can always have a liaison from the middle school be part of us. But I know, Ray, you're part of the Youth and Family Services.
No, parents.
Oh, okay. And so, you know, we try to keep the contact that way.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, no, we are elected commissioners.
Okay,
But
seems like a line of communication that might bring stuff like this up. If it happened again or something else that occurred in the future that isn't represented here. Just a thought.
Thank you. It certainly is food for thought. I appreciate that. Jim?
Sticking ahead, Susan, it probably would not be a bad idea if we had a liaison with the middle school in this instance, just so we can see how many fifth grade students would be interested in it, and then forward that over to Ray to see what the impact would be, both financially and personnel wise, for support of any such fifth grade program going forward.
Would you suggest that be a teacher or a board of ed member? What would
I
you
would
suggest?
think, who'd the liaison be?
Yeah,
I would
Okay.
probably go to the superintendent of the school first and let them know that we have this.
Either that or Dr. Bachman, the principal of middle.
Or the
school.
principal, yeah. They can lay it out, whomever they decide.
I mean, we're certainly in communication with the middle school. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
It's not like it's a big wall between us. We do talk to them, so.
Okay, well, maybe in your fact finding, Ray, maybe that's part of the equation is talking to Dr. Bachman to
Sure.
see, or maybe get a straw poll of fifth graders who might be interested in such a program.
Yeah, and like I said, I just wanted to give it a couple weeks on fifth grade Fridays, like we just had one. We only had one. It doesn't represent the number of kids that might be there. I think we had 25 or so. But it just gives a couple weeks, maybe it goes up. Last year, we were very busy on Fridays for the fifth graders. We had a lot of kids here. A lot of those kids moved on, but yeah, like I said, I think this will work. It's just making sure it's safe on our end too. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? No, okay. Any other correspondence? All right, review with the bills, our most favorite part of the whole meeting.
Right, on 820, there's a placeholder, I think it's maybe a placeholder for the Old Saybrook plumbing, is that something that's to come or something that already happened?
That already happened. That was, it's just on there. I'm not sure why it's zero.
Okay.
Well, there's one that's 3,879, right?
I think it's part of the same bill, it just, then could be,
Two different numbers.
so you took it out, and it didn't take it all the way out, so. Fair enough.
Any other questions? Hearing none, moving along to public comments. This is probably the favorite part. If anyone would like to make a comment at this time, you're certainly free to do that. Okay.
Because here on behalf of what we've already spoken about, seeing if we could, make some movement and allowing fifth graders to be part of the teen center. It seems like, Old Saybrook is kind of unique in the setup that we have for our middle school. And it'd be nice if they could get those same services that other kids have, like we said, the ages have changed over the years, but right now we currently have a 5-8 middle school, so it would stand to reason that 5-8 would be allowed to go to the teen center.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Anyone else? Okay. Going on to new business. We have Clark Community Park discussion.
I know it's really small and probably hard to read, but I'll print it out, like.
I'm not gonna try.
This is the latest update from Jacob Street on Town Park, where they're at, but essentially, they're working on the septic systems of that particular there from the parking lot, so it's flat ground, it's very hard to design it apparently, and they're looking at it a couple different ways, but and then they're looking at the skating shelter area, and the architect that we had done some initial drawings on that, preparing that. So essentially, the next step is complete the condition assessment and then recommendations for improvement. But what I'm suggesting, this process, once they get that down, is we're gonna have a lot of things in that particular park that we need decisions on. Equipment, style stuff, things like that. So I'd like to get some sort of subcommittee for this project. Whether you want the whole group, that's fine, we can do it every meeting, but this is gonna go pretty quickly, and there's gonna be just some decisions that need to be made on the products that are gonna be out there. I certainly want to, gonna be a part of that, but I'd like the commission to be a part of it as well. This is your project. It's not just my project, it's your project, so I don't know if a monthly meeting will be sufficient to discuss some of the stuff that needs to get discussed to move it along faster.
Yeah.
Well, I would like, I think, and I'll just say my opinion and then I'll let you all have yours. I think a subcommittee is good because you've been waiting so many years for this process and we're finally getting it moving
Yeah.
right along. I don't want to slow it up, but I also know that while we're reviewing some of the things that have to be done, it would be nice to have a subcommittee make the suggestion to us as a whole commission that we can decide on, rather than that picking every single little thing that in the past has slowed the process up. So that's my, I'll go around the table, we'll.
And I'll just say for the subcommittee part, there's work to be done now as far as style playground, right?
Ooh, not enough of that.
The equipment that's gonna be involved there, the size of it, it's just gonna be a large playground there. And the design of the shelter in the back, things like that, obviously fence work, fielding, that's not gonna be too tough, but the other little things that need to go up, so.
Jim?
Don't really have any comment. I think a subcommittee is probably a wise idea, given the size of the project.
Nathan?
I volunteer as,
Cool.
what's the word?
Got two down.
Yes.
100% volunteer for that subcommittee.
Oh,
Yeah, I would,
be down.
I definitely wanna be on it.
Oh, we might have to down on that one.
You have been here, what, 8 years?
I know.
Really, it's like Grace said, I mean, we need to move it around,
Yeah.
walk fast, and once a month, we've got so many other agenda items. We really need to concentrate
Well,
on this stuff.
Needs you guys to meet like twice a
Yeah.
week or twice a
Yeah.
month or whatever. Before you come, so.
Yeah.
Well, all right, then we have a subcommittee and so far we have 1, 2, 3, 4 people.
Four's fine, I mean, that's great, I mean,
Yeah.
different opinions on it would be awesome.
Some different, like, perspectives
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
well, style.
Go ahead.
You can have a great style on the playground, it's colors and.
I don't think so. No, we just assigned one.
Okay.
I'm chairman, I'll
I
sign
signed
it.
everything.
But do we wanna,
Okay.
invite people outside of the commission would be a part of the
Well,
committee?
there will be public meetings on some of the stuff anyway, so. That's where it's good to have a subcommittee, then we present it to this, and then the commission can bring it forward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't want to bog it down. But
I don't wanna bog it down, but I wanna make sure like, as a resident up in that area of town, I feel like we need to have a resident, somebody from that area of town
Well,
could be helpful.
we're also you can envision this
Yeah,
happening.
it's a
You'll
town.
bring in like the Little League president, you bring in the soccer club president for their opinions as well. You can bring in some of them. Sit on the meeting, give you some of their opinions too.
I'm sure if you have to, it's very fabulous.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay.
Okay, so,
So who are the lead, who was gonna be the subcommittee?
so we'll have,
Beth,
guys.
Nancy, Rob, and Sue.
Nancy,
Okay,
Rob.
Rob,
Scott,
and Scott.
okay, not Jane, okay, got it. I'm off the committee in November. You're up.
And you will be greatly missed.
So that's really all I have for the Clark Park Community discussion. So I just want to make sure that we are on that and then we can get that ball rolling. So,
So there's a septic system going in,
well, they have to do drainage in the parking area.
storm one, not
Yeah.
septic.
Yeah, well, we call that septic.
Yeah.
You couldn't read it. I don't know why you couldn't read it.
Not to challenge myself.
There, I brought my super duper reading glasses for that one. I'll tell you that.
I think it's interesting that he referred to it as, what is the skating shelter? I've never heard it.
That's like the building.
I know what he's talking about, though.
Yeah.
Actually, that has been
It's
referred to
75.
as skating shelter ever since
Yeah.
we had the park, when we used to go skating.
Yeah, here's.
I had a fireplace in there, so.
Yeah. So anyway, we can rename that building later.
Oh, we should.
That's-
And sell the rights to the. Headache.
Sponsorships.
I know, right? I'm like, ching.
All right, any other business regarding programs, facilities and personnel?
None.
I have one, just an open discussion. With the understanding that Oyster River Market might be up for sale.
It
And that's
is.
at
It is
10
for
to
It is
5.
currently a night out there.
In the past, when certain pieces of property come up for sale that might be advantageous to obtain or the town of Saybrook to obtain, On behalf of the commission, I've written a letter to the board of selectmen. So I'm gonna ask for your opinion, considering this piece of property across from McDonald's already has a parking lot, already has a septic system, already has water, already has electricity and a building. I think it would be advantageous for a non-power water entrance, like for paddleboard or kayak.
Yeah. I
Um,
was thinking the same thing.
looking for other
No better place
areas.
to hike out.
And so I think, I'd be willing to write a letter and ask the board of selectmen that this is considered. I don't think the price they're asking for is exceptionally.
It's. What is that?
It's, it is.
Yeah, 500,000, but when you're looking at the prices of property
Right.
and it's a waterfront. And it's already has a building on it,
Cause the other
And it
lot
already
is under
works.
contract, the one that we originally were talking about, is already under contract.
I'm all for it too, as long as they're, as long as the land goes down in the water.
yes,
That's where you have to make sure that the property goes down.
yes, and it may need some grading to make it a little bit easier to.
Like, does it go all the way to the bridge or does it?
No, the state
thought-
owns, okay, the state owns
Owns a
that
little
little
bit, I
corner,
thought so,
yeah.
yeah.
and that's where you see people crabbing.
It
and
goes right to
parking.
the, where the water comes up at a high tide, it goes right to there.
Mhm.
Cause at low tide, there's really no water, but.
Yeah, but to me, I mean, I don't think we have to make a dock. Or, anything like that to go into the water, so I don't think, we would have to worry about PVPP.
No, I think it's great.
Because
Awesome.
most people can take a
Certainly
kayak.
a lot of interest for kayaks launches in town, so.
So, my consensus of the commission is you all agree? That's a good idea.
Yep. In space,
All right, then I will do
and
that.
and to keep it public would be.
Yeah, I mean, we don't, as a town, we don't own very much waterfront at all.
And there's a
And
lot of
Oyster
retail
River
space open.
Is a calm river as opposed to Gardener's Landing where people like to put in the kayaks for the Connecticut River. And, we all know that the Connecticut River can be, for novices, kind of hard to navigate. But, I think this would be a nice quiet area for. Center. All right, then, we'll do that. Any other, business? For new, business? Okay, moving on to old business. All parks review.
As you know, hopefully you guys can make the peace pole dedication on the September 21st at 1 o'clock. The peace pole is in the ground, if you'd like to go see it. It's at Gardener's Landing, so it's there.
They put it in the right spot.
They put it in the right spot. It is
We
there, so.
should have met there today.
Ray and I met there. a couple weeks ago.
It, looks good, so. Y'all wanna go there.
Time of day.
Obviously, we're done with the beaches for the summer. All the chairs are in. We'll be getting the lines in fairly soon here. It was a very successful summer. All the numbers for the summer, for you next month. Mini golf is still going strong, and I will say this for mini golf. August was the strongest month I've ever seen there. We grossed over 99,000 there. Which is.
Didn't rain.
It's the great management.
They must be,
It must be
well organized
there.
over there.
Well, that's what it is.
People love mini golf.
Yeah.
We are knee deep in soccer, so all the soccer fields are up and going. And the last thing is the town green, if you recall, you can take one of these. We had some plaques put up on the trees by the garden club. And this is a little flyer that they put together, and I think it's a really cool flyer, actually. It's one I can see. It gives a little walking path to the 10 different trees that they put signs on. That you can go around and look at the trees, and there has a description of each one of the trees that are out there.
Yeah.
I don't know who Harley is, I don't know who's Harley, but
Is that Carl's dog?
it might be actually. But you can look at the 10 trees that are out there, and there's two interesting ones on the list. Is the centennial elm that's out front was actually planted in, there's a little description, they put it in 1865. And then we have the cherry tree that's out there, that's actually considered a Connecticut champion tree because it's the largest species of that tree in the state.
It's a cherry tree.
That's the largest elm in the state.
Not the elm, the
Centennial.
No,
Cherry, Quonset and cherry.
Farms and Cherry Tree.
Oh,
That's the largest, it's Connecticut champion tree, it's the largest. one in
that's
the-
the one that we had to put the
That's what's-
table on, yeah.
Well, and we have to put it together with.
Oh, we sold it with an ornamental flowering a Japanese ornamental flowering cherry tree.
Anyway, that was brought in to me the other day, actually on Monday, she brought them in. She had that really sweet lines, they're really well done, so we're gonna have some out front.
Oh, really? Can you put this on like your?
Website?
We could try to get it on there.
Send it to Jack.
I'm good.
Okay. If you could
Yeah,
send
this
us some
is
other
neat.
Jack.
We
might
should
be
be able
able
to get
to-
it on there, but yeah, I thought it was awesome, so.
Yeah,
Really great.
we should do a thank you. For something.
Fine.
That's so cool.
All right, note to Susan.
You want that?
Yeah, I'll need it for.
So where
Thank
are
you.
these things being distributed?
They had some at the Cape. We have some here, I think there's some in town
You
hall,
probably can change it.
Chamber might have some, I don't know if you put them there or not, but.
And we should put this like by like the tax collector's office.
Yeah. Yep, so people can look out, that's great. Other than that, with the parks, like I said, we're in soccer season, we're all greened up and ready to go, so. It's September 10th already.
Is there a ferry road update?
There's not a ferry road update, but that should be going out very shortly, so. That's all.
We have to spend that grant money by a certain period of time. We'll talk about that here.
Next time.
So next in line is strategic plan for parks and discussions. We hit that with the,
We did, it's just on there again, I will say this, as you know, the mini golf money that we generated this summer is all going into our strategic sinking fund. And that is, healthy at this point in time, it's a little bit north of $700,000 at this point in time, as of the end of the month, so there'll be more money getting put into it as well, so. I'm not saying that's covering the cost of the project.
No,
but-
something.
But it will be a big help when you get to the cost.
Okay, so kayak rack is sort of with my letter to hopefully getting the Vineyard or Oyster River market thing, because I think that would be an excellent fit for that rack. Two racks, actually.
Well, for the whole town, I mean, it's another part, really, I mean, on those.
That would be a big whole market, be awesome. Years ago, we looked at it, it wasn't, I remember we did look at it.
Yeah,
We did the same thing.
we bought that little piece, for the town, but we received that little piece of property on the other
Other
side.
side, that was.
But we can't do anything with it, because it's just too steep, too.
Park.
Yeah.
But we talked about it and then it sold, remember? I
It
remember
did sell.
It sold very quickly. We had just, we did a letter, I think we got that out, but I don't think it sold too quickly.
No.
It makes you wonder, like,
This has
if
been
we
on
were-
market for a while.
If we were to lose the pavilion.
Yeah.
Have a space there.
Yeah.
I mean, if we need a bigger space in there. No, I mean,
You share your.
it'd be nicer to add on some space, so it could be bigger, but.
Parking is.
It's not that large, I mean, I don't think it would hold more than behind in there. It's pretty small, but my point is, we don't have to build anything, it's already there.
Yeah, that's true.
It's, so,
And 14 feet in the air.
Right, yeah.
yeah, we won't have that problem.
I mean.
Oyster River isn't
kind
bad.
All right, moving along here to the preserve update.
I don't have anything, but what I would like to add in the next couple of months here is, as I said before, we need some sort of e-bike policy in our parks. Well, not our parks, but our open spaces, particularly Great Cedars, East West, Town Park, and in accordance with the preserve. So gonna be working on some language that I can present to you for use of e-bikes, the trail system, because it's a big thing. Those bikes go pretty fast. People are gonna get hurt, so. Obviously with the new law coming into effect, state in October, we can kind of jump on that and get some rules and regulations within our trail system.
We haven't had any accidents out there.
No, but there's a large biking community in the preserve that utilizes our trail systems as well, because they're all interconnected. There's a lot of people out there just with no rules.
Yeah,
There are no ATVs that are allowed there.
No ATVs are allowed.
And is there a difference between an ATV and a dirt bike? Right now, like,
ATVs and dirt bikes are not allowed.
or no,
Motorized.
dirt bikes are not allowed,
Right, so
okay?
e-bikes are on a whole different spectrum because they
Different-
don't fall into that
different types of
category.
bikes.
So,
you know, you can have an e-bike that you can pedal,
yeah,
or you just have an e-bike.
there's
But-
essentially three different
The
types of.
assist can still go really fast. Like, because-
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. So
So,
there just needs to be some rules and regulations, whether we allow them or not allow them, what type are allowed. You know, the rules of the trail law, who gives right of ways, all that good stuff, you know, those haven't really, we have them. There are general laws when you're using the trails, but we don't have them really enforced in our trails. So it's never been an issue because we haven't had bikes. Most people have just been walking, so.
Walking and
In
mountain
pedal,
bike.
pedal, or, yeah, so, this is just a different animal. I think we need to address it. So I'll be coming on, so. some rules
Yeah.
regs
And then we have to
fix it.
enforce it.
there's,
And then the
there's,
enforcement, but hopefully as we go on, you know, we have a liaison group that will get out there and do some stewardship in our particular parks along with the preserve, and I'm working on that as well. We have a seminar coming up in October that will be presenting some stewardship opportunities, trail work, getting out there to monitor the trails and who's using things like that, so.
Is it possible to have cameras? I mean, I'm not trying to invade on anybody's. You know, it's nature. We want people to be out there and walking. You know, but we also want to, you know, for safety. For safety reasons. And monitoring what kind of use we have. You know, I'd like to at least think about.
So it's been discussed, we did certainly discuss it in the preserve aspect of the preserve ad hoc committee, putting out some trail cams, getting some trail counters out there, whether they're a dual camera / counter. The problem with a lot of those, you'll pick up animals that go by, so it's really a true count, I don't know. You know, there's foot traffic counters that you can use as well, you gotta put them in the ground, so. It's certainly been discussed in the preserve part of it, when we were in some of the early stages of planning what we were doing for trails out there, which still could be planned, but, you know, it's something we have discussed, so it's a possibility.
Well, since the preserve is in not just Old Saybrook property, do you have to work with the other?
It's just, well, we
It's,
have to work with the state.
cause you can't just have, the rules if you're just on the Old Saybrook part of it, but if you go to the other town.
So
they don't
that's
like-
on their part
So
of the
do we
preserve.
follow?
We could follow them, they don't allow bikes in their part of the preserve.
I don't allow
But they
bikes at
don't
all.
have-
No, they don't allow bikes
Okay.
in Essex Park, so. That's been a, you know, a contentious part when they come into Old Saybrook as well. But our problem is we have to work with the state. Essex can do what they want. They own it solely by themselves, the Essex Land Trust. We own the 10 acres in Westbrook. We have a liaison from Westbrook that we work with on the ad hoc committee. But we have, since we have 50% owners with the state of Connecticut, we have to part with their rules as well. And we have to work with the recreation department of the team. So
I guess,
it is difficult to say the least.
yeah, outside of dirt bikes, like when we talk about bikes, right? Like, I ride a bike
Sure.
out there because I'm old and I can't keep up with a lot of the younger guys, but also there's a big mountain biking community.
Absolutely.
It's kind of had a resurgence, mountain biking in general. We have great facility that sells them here too, which is great for the town. But also you see a tremendous amount of our kids like riding bikes again.
Yeah.
Which I'm all for, and I don't want to restrict that. I would love to encourage it more. With safety concerns
Yeah.
from hiking trails, maybe a little segregation of our trail system. So we can allow them to use that as a resource. It's pretty much the only place to ride a mountain bike. And they got some really nice trails out
Yeah,
there.
all valid points, and I totally agree with all that, and we don't wanna get rid of mountain bikes either in the preserve. It's part of what we talked about. That's part of what the activity to be in there. Or e-bikes for that matter, just need some more rules and regulations.
Yeah.
They can't just be making their one track trails by themselves and
Yep.
going through fauna and flora that can't be
Yep.
disturbed, you know, that's what's happening out there, so. It's part of that we need to try to curb as well.
like you said, the terrain, which trail would best be suited for an e-bike, because they're heavier, they rip up the soil a little bit more because of their weight and how they're used. But the other thing I wanted to just briefly say that there's a lot of articles out there because a lot of Americans, and myself included, who are not as agile as we used to be, do like using those. And this is a way to get more people in that have different abilities physically to be able to utilize their forests. So even the state with their present e-bike policies are reviewing those with that in mind, so. Everything.
And there may be some one-track trails just for bikes.
Mm.
The problem is a lot of the times the bikers will get bored with those, they'll make their own, you
Mhm.
know, so. But yeah, those are all been discussed, and I just want to get some general rules and regulations, because we don't have anything that says anything about e-bikes on our trails. Nothing, it's just, we don't allow motorized ATVs or dirt bikes, so. I think it needs to be included, that's all. You can come up with something.
If I can just add one more thing to that, Ray, I've noticed that there seems to be two, I'm not an expert on e-bikes, but there seems to be two categories of e-bikes. One is more of a leisurely ride, like Rob was describing, and there's also a set of dirt bikes type, e-bikes, which have bigger treads and bigger tires for off-roading purposes. So we may want to do some investigation and see if either or both or neither would make a significant impact on some of the flora and fauna that you
Yeah, I
discussed.
think it's basically the way the state's done it anyway, by voltage.
It is, yeah.
By voltage.
And they categorize it in 3 different categories for their law anyway. There's a level 1, 2, and 3. Basically, if you're a level 3, you have to get a motorcycle license to operate it. That's part of the law. Level 1, everyone has to wear a helmet. For level 1, you can be 16 and under, and level 2, you have to be 16 and over. That's part of the law that they've written, so, it's just. You know, I think we should follow some of those in our parks, so,
Mhm.
you know, it emulates what the state's trying to do.
Trying to keep things symmetry in line. Any other business regarding programs, facilities, personnel? Oh. We did now to hear. Chairman's report, don't have much to say, except I'll write those letters that we agreed upon tonight. Director's report?
I'll just say this, talked a little bit about the summer and the income we had. I just want to thank our staff publicly in the meeting because they did a fantastic job of what they had to deal with all summer long. Yeah, I know. So I commend them, and they will be getting, I certainly asked them their input and whatnot, but I haven't done that yet, but I just want to thank them because it was a really busy summer after June, after all the rain in June, and they did a tremendous job. And, obviously, you know some of them. If you see any of them, thank them as well. But they're doing a great job.
Do you do any like outgoing surveys?
No, I try to talk to them. I'll send out a big group text message and then ask them if they want to provide anyone. Then I'll go to my supervisor. We'll have a meeting.
Okay.
with the supervisor, so.
And that you probably asked to feedback if they're gonna come back, so you might know your staffing.
I try to, and a lot of them will like, I have no idea though.
Right.
What do we say? I have no
Like
idea.
those graduating from college,
Yeah.
or like,
But
yeah,
no, just plant the seed early.
Right.
So all the staff is excellent. So I'd like to have them all
makes your
back.
job easier.
Yeah.
Here.
I think last month we discussed a thank you letter or card for them. Are we able to do that at your staff meeting or send it?
Well, I thought I always take care of that with my technicians.
Oh,
They'd
okay.
rather, I'll tell you what, they'd rather.
Yeah,
have
okay,
we're
I got you.
Yeah.
All right,
anything else.
not a problem.
They
Just,
wouldn't even look at the card. I'm assuming.
Oh, I like to get mail.
oh, I don't know, the way people.
Jamie, you have my phone, because they text me that whole.
Yeah.
No, I'm just, what do they do? They do.
Well, you can actually get a text back from a youth.
So, oh, yeah, when they need
I
something,
didn't think
yes,
they used that.
absolutely.
Yes.
Right.
Any punctuation in that text?
No.
We have a letter.
First-hand experience, you guys?
Recognizing our liaison, do you have anything for us today?
One is related to what you said about the reserve. We had a guest, Kathy Connolly, came and mentioned about the e-bikes. That they have published maps, she said online, they have 30 trails now mapped out through the preserve. She said, so well organized. The maps are better than she had in terms of what was going on. There's a high concern of amphibious they're just riding through with turtles because they have to do their migration, as you know, across. And she said it's just, she felt it was getting out of control, that there needs to be something done about it. So, secondly, we do have a memorandum. We can make it move this way, it's exactly 5 years ago.
Our MRU with our groups.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Great
okay.
Cedar
Yep.
Conservation.
Yep.
And one of the things was in there was maps that actually developed, and that sort of goes in what I was just saying. I'm new to this, so I don't know, but there was a 5-year plan.
Yeah, we actually had separate 5-year plans. We did one back from 2003 to 10, somewhere in that range. And then we just started meeting again like 3 to 4 years ago. We haven't met in probably a year, so it's.
Yeah,
I think
so.
the
and
the
I'm
group
happy-
kind of changed, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm happy to be the liaison with that, to sit with.
Sure.
But they want to get things
So,
going
yeah,
on this,
Good.
and you mentioned, which I got to give you acknowledgement about the cleaning to start. And that's definitely as you started to do this year, but the rain postponed a lot of it.
Yeah.
But that was brought up through that. So I'd be happy whenever you want to meet.
yeah, I should look back at that. I forgot when we last met, but, because that 5-year plan, we revamped.
Well, it ended this year.
It ended this year, yeah. And so it's time for another one anyway.
So I just want to bring the attention, they feel it's really important that we get together to get a handle on all these parts, particularly the trails. That's
Absolutely, and thank you for that, and
Yeah.
appreciate you volunteering once
Yeah.
again to be part of another committee meeting. But, yes. Go ahead.
So are we talking about having, certain trails that would be, kind of permitting e-bikes and mountain bikes and hiking? And then other trails that would be restricted to just hiking? Or
I don't
just
know,
hiking
maybe,
and
maybe that
biking?
could be the case. I don't know if our trail system would allow that because we don't have as many trails, but the reserve is large enough where it could allow that. The problem with a lot of that is there's a lot of space in the preserve now that's conserved. You can't do anything to it, so a lot of the trails in that area won't exist anyway. And that's the problem we have to try to map out with some of these trails now. So yes, it's a possibility we could do both. To have just walking trails, just equestrian trails, just biking trails. Or they're gonna be,
Yeah.
yes, or they're gonna be all universal trails. And then that's where you really need the rules of the road and who goes where and what, so.
Yeah,
And we'll be working with the state, with the trail manager, director
Correct.
for the DEP. On that, we haven't even come close to, actually designated some of the trails that we needed to be changed. Because they weren't really designed, they just were created in the wrong area. They dipped down into muck, swampy areas that you wouldn't normally design the trail for, just as an example. So we'll be doing that, we haven't gotten close to that yet to really designate it. What Kathy Connolly was talking about for the conservation is, we have a lot of, apps out there that
Yeah.
aren't official.
So many.
There's-
DEP apps or official town apps. And they have, with their little clubs and organizations, created their own trails and they named them. And it's amazing.
Yeah,
And they can grow. And, so it is part of the psyche of how we can get, the public to understand that.
yeah.
I understand you have a need for speed. I understand that you're bored with the same old trail, but the land is the land. There's only so many acres in it, and we as stewards have to protect that part of the property there that really is environmentally sensitive.
And
So.
the way to really do that, because you're always gonna have road, no matter what, I don't care what sport it is, from skiing, they're going through the glades and making things.
Or they make them up themselves.
It's just something to have, but if you build something that is really great and it's sensitive to the environment and we can integrate it into a plan and you have these really great trail systems with features and everything else, that's where they're gonna go. They're not gonna go off the path, create their own, because this is great.
It's a mix of that, but I'm a great proponent of education first. Educate the public, because I don't believe that many of them think that my one day on on a bike or my just running through the woods on a trail that's not really a true trail harms. And with that education, I think we can create a more sensitive public that understands why certain rules and regulations exist. But that's where we are right there. Before I leave, I want to thank our guests for staying for the entire meeting. I appreciate that. And whenever you have any suggestions or anything, please feel free to contact Ray and come to our meetings. I think you realize that we encompass a lot of things in our 20 some odd responsibility of things for the town. So, thank you for staying. I appreciate that. With that, I can, unless anyone has anything they would like to bring up, make a motion to adjourn.
So move.
We all agree, right? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.